Hey everyone, Nashwauk Steve here, making this video during the coronavirus COVID-19 quarantine, so getting a little shaggy around the edges. That's how it is during this stay-at-home quarantine thing. Anyway, today's project Lucy's going to help me with. We are going to work on this 2004 Honda Foreman ES that we recently bought. It has a differential lock installed in the front, meaning the front wheels will spin at the same speed no matter what. There's no slip at all, which is great for plowing and great for power, but it's really tough for my wife and daughter to steer this thing when it's moving because on pavement it steers really hard. So what we're going to do is get the wheels off of this thing to start, and then we're going to jack it up and start taking things apart and see if we can get in that differential and take out the spool locker that's in there. Honda's had that, didn't give you that option to have a locked front differential. But an aftermarket kit could be bought to put that in, which has been done on this unit. So we're going to go ahead and take that out and put it back to a stock limited slip situation. We'll get started. So here's the four-wheeler. I chalked the back wheels and took my jack and lifted up the front right in the middle. And then underneath here you can see I use jack stands to hold up the frame back there. It might be overkill, but like I said, I'm new to doing this on an ATV, so I'm going to take the precautions necessary. We're gonna go ahead, and next thing to do is get the wheels ripped off of it and see where we go from there. Okay, so before I take the wheels off, I decided I'm gonna go ahead and drain this differential oil. So it's a 10mm socket on the very underside of this differential here. There's a hole in this kind of permanent skid plate, so you can get a socket up onto it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and pull that out so we can drain it and get all the oil out. Okay, we got the oil drained out of that differential. Now Lucy's gonna go ahead and finish taking off the lug nuts so we can get these tires off. Go ahead, Lucy. Just like that. I'll do the other side. So to get the differential out, we've got to get the axles removed. To get the axles removed, it's my understanding we have to take out this lower ball joint nut here. It's a castle nut with a cotter pin in it. So we're going to straighten that out and yank it through. And then we also need to take off the lower shock mount here. So we're going to take that one off. That one shouldn't be too difficult to do. So I'm going to go ahead, straighten this cotter pin out and see if I can get that nut to remove, and then get this lower arm on this A arm removed from it. Then we should be able to get at that axle and pull it out. All right, that nut looks like it's a 17mm, so we're going to try it with the impact wrench. Go ahead, Lucy. So it's not going to go with that. We'll have to get a breaker on it and turn it up that way. This shock lower connection here is just held on by a 14mm bolt, so it's not tightened in too bad. So we can get that off with a pair of ratchets. And we'll see about freeing up that A-arm next. All right, so now we have to get this threaded portion out of the A-arm here. So I'm not sure if I pull it up, it just moves with that one. I'm not sure the best way to get that out. So I've got a few different tools here we're gonna try. So maybe I'll start with the hammer and see if that pops it free or not. It doesn't seem to do a lot. So maybe we'll try prying it a little bit, see if that will get it to come loose. See if we can lift that up to get it to be lined up a little better, and then maybe knock it down, or maybe I'll hit on the back of that A-arm too. We'll try a few different things here. Nothing moving yet. There we go. Got it free. Okay, so I just pulled this axle out and it went easier than I thought it would. So what I did is I pushed it all in as far as I could get it. Bring it in closer, take a look at this. And when I popped it back hard, it just slid right out. So it's out now, it's loose, but I'll show on the other side when I do it. But it just pulled right out like that. So the axle is free of that differential and I can kind of move it out of the way like that. For now, it's out of where we'll be working. Okay, so on this one, I took this little black guard off so I'd have more room to get at this thing and pound it loose. So now I'm gonna try to do that axle removal thing and see if it goes like it did before. So I pushed in and then popped out. This time it's not going. Huh. I guess one side is a lot luckier than the other one. So as I was trying to get that axle to pop out, it didn't come out. Instead, this joint came out inside the boot. So I'm gonna have to clean that up and see what mess I got myself into. I had to take this band off and take it apart at the boot. But even with that, I should be able to still continue disconnecting everything. And then once I get this differential on the bench, hopefully I can work on that and take off the part that was supposed to come out. So more to come on that. We'll keep working on it. The next thing we do is take the bolts that are used to mount this in place. We're gonna take those off, and then any electrical, and this plastic guard that's back here, we're gonna take that off as well. Actually, it might be metal, not plastic. So we'll go ahead and do that now. Okay, so I'm taking out this bolt that we have up through here, the upper one that's holding the differential in. Just want to point out there's a spacer in here. Make sure that it stays on the right hand side when you reassemble everything so it all lines up. And then if you tilt down a little bit, I just took out this bracket down a little more that was right in here. That one held on to the front differential bolt. Got that out of there, so we'll be able to move that differential when the time comes. And now I'm gonna go ahead and pull apart these electrical probes in here, I guess. It's an 8mm, so we're gonna go ahead and pop those loose and pull them out, as well as the one back here underneath this black guard. So right now what I'm doing is taking off this plastic step here, so I can get to where the drive shaft comes out of the motor going to the front differential. Once I get the differential completely loose and able to move forward, I'm gonna disconnect it back here first so I can get that drive shaft out of there. So that's what I'm doing right now, just taking off this cosmetic piece here to give me better access. Okay, so I got the differential unbolted and I just grabbed it from the front and pulled forward, and it pulled forward pretty easily. And I came back here and this had pulled forward a little bit. I could see the splines, but I just moved this boot up a little bit and it started to come out here. So this is what I'm gonna do, is try to get this wiggled out from this side, pull it toward me here, and then hopefully I can swing it out and pull the shaft out from the front side as well. we'll go ahead and give that a try. Okay, so I was trying to disassemble it at this joint here, and it didn't seem that was gonna work. From up front, I couldn't get enough play. So I think what I'm supposed to do, and this worked out right, is to take this whole collar here and push it up toward the front of the four-wheeler, and then I was able to clear this shaft here and get this thing out. So now I should be able to pull it out from the differential on the other side and have that thing loose and be able to pull the differential out next. Okay, I was able to get my hand on the shaft then from in there and just pull back a little jerk, and it was able to pull this out. Look, like there was a little kind of a spring clip in there, but there was no problem. So now I should be able to wiggle that differential out of its home there and get to work on it. At this point, you can remove the sensors and electrical connectors from the differential. There's a sensor in the front as shown under that black guard, and then there's one in the back, the same style under a guard as well. Disconnect those and then remove the electrical connector that's near that back sensor as well. You can do that now and then move on to the next step. Okay, so now I should hopefully be able to just work this thing out of here. I'm gonna put this down for a little bit while I try to twist that differential. Hopefully we can find some sort of Tetris-y way to get this thing out of here. Wires out of the way, sensors out of the way here. Let's see if we can. Might be more of a challenge because I've got that hub on that other side that didn't come off with the axle, but we'll see if we can get it to come out here. It's so far, looks like we might make it. If we can get it to clear under here. Oh, that's gonna be a tough challenge. All right, I think we have it. So there it is. There's a differential. Next thing we're gonna do is take this to the workbench, see if we can get inside of it and get that spool locker out of it and release that differential lock. I'm probably gonna call this the end of this video, and we'll start a new one for taking apart the differential, and we'll see what we get when we get inside of it. That's it, thanks for watching.